Hi guys, this is Clara Chips. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Clara Chips Show once again. If you are watching me for the first time, I just want to tell you that it's not by accident that you are watching me today. I'm sure this message is for you, so you better stick around and hear what I have to say today. Well, today I just thought of sharing with you guys how I was involved in a road accident with my family, how it all went, how I went into the hospital, and how I was told that that I had diabetes and also high blood pressure during that time, how I also overcame the sickness that I was told I had. So let's get going, guys. Yeah, it was, I think, 5 years ago. My family and I were coming from Lusaka. We went to Lusaka to find out about the schools there because my firstborn had just finished her grade 12. So my husband and I decided to go and look for which schools were good for her to go for college. So we went there in Lusaka and everything went fine. We discovered a few things about different schools and we spent about 2 days there. So we started coming to Kitwe. My husband was driving and everything was fine. We started off a little bit late in the afternoon, and by evening we reached Ndola. And when we reached Ndola, we stopped by, we got a pizza, and we were eating on our way, trying to chat, talk about different things. So I was just busy, looking outside the window, and suddenly I just saw this vehicle coming in front of us, and it just came straight on and hit in our car. I was like, what's going on, guys? I felt like I was dreaming. Everything just happened so fast, like in a blink of an eye. I'm like, oh my goodness, what's happening? The first thought that came into my mind was, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. It was like in the movie, you guys. Have you been in a road accident? I'm telling you, it was really, really, really scary, Just immediately, the vehicle went on the other side. This guy bashed into our car, and I just, I was in a dream. I just woke up and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm alive. I looked at my daughter. My daughters, they were all fine. I looked at my husband, he was also fine, but with my husband, he went out of the car, he started shouting at this guy, but I was all confused because everything happened so fast, you guys. I just didn't expect, such a thing could happen. So, in the middle of everything, I just came out of the vehicle, and also my two daughters came out of the vehicle. I went and I stood outside there because I didn't know what was going to happen, because I've always been like watching on movies where there's an accident and then you just see that fire comes out of the vehicle. That was in my mind. So the only thing I could think of was to just remove my seat belt, and I went outside. I took my daughters outside and we went and we were watching from afar. My husband was busy talking to this guy who I think was drunk, and then some people came around. You know how people gathers when an accident occurs. These people came and they were asking this lady was asking, oh my goodness, what has happened to these people? Are they alive? Look at the vehicle. Are they okay? And then I just looked at her and I said, wow, I was in that vehicle, and she just couldn't believe it, she couldn't believe it that I was in that car. So as I was standing there, I just felt my stomach paining, and then I was like, no, something is wrong here. So my husband came to me and he was like, are you feeling okay? Are you fine? He was also asking my daughters, are you okay? Are you guys okay? And no, we are fine. So a certain man came and was saying that, no, I think these guys are traumatized. I think what you have to do, you need to go to the hospital so that they can check them out. Even if they look fine like this, maybe they may have, some things, which we might not know. But okay, with me, although I didn't say it just right there, I felt my stomach was paining. There was this pain which was so sharp. And I was just thinking that maybe it was the seat belt or something. So anyway, we went to the hospital. So at the hospital they checked us and they said that we were all okay. And then, since my uncle used to stay in Ndola, my husband decided that we should just go at my uncle's place while he was trying to sort out with the police and talking to this guy who was responsible for everything. So my husband called my uncle, and my uncle just came, and we went to his house. So when we went to his house, I just started feeling pain. The pain was, getting stronger and stronger. So my aunt was there, and my aunt was asking me, what happened? So I tried to explain everything, and she said, but are you feeling okay? But I told her that, you know what, auntie, actually I'm not feeling okay. I think I've got some pains in my stomach is paining. So he said, oh, okay, but what did the doctors say? But no, they said that everything is fine with us. So I noticed that I said, no, can I use the toilet? So I went to the toilet, but I noticed that when I went to the toilet, the pain was so intense. And I wee-weed and I felt that pain I've never felt a pain like that before. So anyway, to cut the story short, my husband came back and he had talked to the police, and then he said, no, we need to go home. It was a bit dark, and my uncle was like, no, but why can't you just spend the night and sleep here with us? But my husband said, no, I think we need to go home. So my uncle gave my husband his vehicle, and he drove to Kitwe. When we reached Kitwe, I was still in pain. I was, my stomach was paining so much, and I told my husband that my stomach is paining, and he said, no, you're going to be fine. I think it's the seat belt. So we went home. But the following day, which was a Saturday, the pain was so intense that I couldn't bear it. And the other thing also I noticed is that I couldn't go to the toilet. I couldn't pee, but I was drinking water, but I couldn't do anything when I go to the toilet. So I told him that, no, this is serious. I think you need to take me back to the clinic. So we went to clinic, company clinic, which is our clinic. And there the doctor saw me, and he did some investigations. He checked me, and he said, no, everything is fine. But anyway, you are fine. So again, we went back home. But when we went home again, the pain was so intense. I said, no, this is too much. So we went back to the clinic, and the doctor said, no, I think you just have to be referred to the hospital because we can't see anything wrong with you. So we ended up going to a big hospital now where they can do further investigations. There they did all that they can, and they said that, no, I think we have just discovered that you've got a urine infection, but let's just do some more investigations and check what's wrong with you. So they checked in my stomach. They said, how are you feeling? I said, no, I've got this sharp pain that I'm feeling, and we were in an accident, and I explained everything, and then they admitted me. So I stayed in the hospital. So I was there the first day when I was in the hospital. They did some checkups. They did also some sugar tests, diabetes tests. And it was discovered that each time they checked my sugar levels, they were high. So the doctor asked me, do you have diabetes? I said no. And then they also checked for my BP. My BP was also high. And I think it's because of what I went through. I was traumatized, and my condition was like that because I was afraid somehow. So anyway, they again checked for my sugar levels, and they discovered that the sugar was like 40. So I just saw everyone panicking, and I was like, what's going on? And then I said, excuse me, doctor, but what's wrong? And then he said that your sugar levels are so high, so I think we're just going to observe you and admit you. So I said, what do you mean high? So it's like 40. I said, what is the normal one? He said, about 3 or 5. And then I said, oh, this is very serious. So they got some insulin. They put insulin on me. They got this, I don't know, a lot of things just happened so fast. I saw them panicking, I'm like, what's going on? And the nurse said that, you know what, you are in danger because the condition where you are at, even if you look like this, you would have just collapsed and you could have just died. So I'm like, oh my goodness, what's happening? Anyway, that was how I was admitted in hospital. Afterwards, they started giving me treatment for both BP and diabetes. It was not a nice time for me because I was so scared that I'm going to die, I'm going to leave my family, I'm going to leave my kids, So here I've learned a lot of things, I stayed in the hospital for like 2 weeks, you guys. I've learned a lesson of how sometimes things happen for a good reason. Because without me being in an accident, I was not going to know that I had diabetes. So what I did was I started praying and I said, you know what, God, I believe that this is not my time for me to die and I'm going to survive this. I had faith. The doctor told me that we are going to give you this medication which was for diabetes and also for BP. But please, when you go home, you should continue taking these medicines, because when you stop taking, you are going to die. So I was like, oh my God, going to die? Well, guys, it was terrible. Have you felt death near you? That's what I felt, you guys. It was so terrible. Anyway, let me end here for today. I'm going to continue tomorrow so that you can hear more on how I healed myself using natural methods. So more tomorrow. I will tell you more about what happened and how I healed myself from diabetes and BP. Thank you so much once again for watching my YouTube channel. Please feel free to leave a comment, and you can also check on me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I love you guys, and like I always say, I just want to tell you that please love yourself more, because there's no other person who can love you apart from loving you. You are your own best friend, guys. So yeah, peace to you guys. Mwah.